Rocken Larry Locken, what's your opinion show? Hey, in association with Opinion But Facts, I'd like to give a big shout out to Kenny Jackson. And actually, from where I am, for about a half hour now, exactly, it is not my birthday officially, but it's my cousin Doug's birthday. I'd like to wish him happy birthday. And then on the 3rd, his uncle, which is my dad, that'll be his birthday. But enough about all that shit. Hey, I kind of want to talk about a few things that, one of them was I want to touch on real quick. You know, I have watched countless interviews with Putin, you know, here and there, little 5-minute sound bites, this and that. And I sat down today and I actually watched, sorry if you can't hear me, I watched the interview he did with Chris Wallace on Fox. And, you know, I mean, I know they're all shills over at Fox Spews, but, you know, there's one guy over there, and it's probably why he's only on Sunday mornings, but he, you know, he's willing to ask some semi-tough questions, but Putin, you can see why Trump worships him totally. Putin is an authoritarian that's got a little bit smarter of a brain than Trump, and you can see why people would really fall in love with that kind of personality, you know, even if though he's a stone cold killer, you know, fall in love with that personality. I mean, I'm going to just play one clip here real quick, and I want you to kind of just hear what he had to say to a Chris Wallace question. Here we go.
Why is it that so many of the people that oppose Vladimir Putin end up dead or close to it? Former Russian spy and double agent Sergei Skripal, the victim of a nerve agent attack in England. Boris Nemtsov, a political opponent, gunned down near the Kremlin. Investigative reporter Anna Politkovskaya, murdered in an apartment building. Why is it that so many people who were political enemies of Vladimir Putin are attacked?
Во-первых, у нас у всех много политических противников. First of all, all of us have plenty of political rivals. I'm pretty sure President Trump has plenty of political rivals.
But they don't end up dead.
Но не всегда. А вас что, президентов не убивают? Not always. Well, haven't presidents been killed in the United States? Have you forgotten about it? Где убили? Well, has Kennedy been killed in Russia or in the United States? Что вообще происходит? Mr. King?
Boy, he was he was really reaching there to get at Dr. King, wasn't he? He was like, President Kennedy, and yeah, motherfucker, we've had several incidents like that over here, but we haven't had continuous cases of lawyers and reporters being murdered. Okay, yeah, we're no angels over here either. Okay, I'm really, in fact, you know, there's nobody more suspicious of me than me of about 1963, starting with Kennedy's killing. Then we go on to Malcolm X's murder in 65, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in 68, and Bobby Kennedy. Now, I'm sorry about my history. I'm not sure which one of the two of them died first that year. Okay, and even John Lennon in 1980. I mean, you had all these people that, for different powerful reasons, that were able to gather different groups that were, you know, murdered. So, I mean, you know, I don't know. You know, you get me thinking about this shit too much, and I'm going to start thinking the Russians were even in on that kind of shit. And they could have been, you know, you know, and the way Putin answers questions, like he was asked by Wallace if, what he would think of some of these countries, Georgia and Ukraine or something, if they became officially part of NATO. And he said that it would be a definite negative. He would feel it as a threat. Well, why? He's been a threat to them forever. Why would it matter? That's really none of his concern. I mean, you know, they've got a portway or two to get out of there. I mean, you know, keep him hemmed in as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? You can tell that Trump just worships and idols the guy. You can tell. And you can tell it, and now it's crystal clear to me, and it always has been, but as to why. Because, man, also what I realized is that Trump realizes that he could never quite be on that fucking KG of a level, you know, because he hasn't been through the shit Vladimir Putin has been through. You know, Putin's like the only fucking premier of Russia since, fuck, I don't know, they had czars in the, you know, early 1900s that has probably even been in the military, really. Or some fighting force like the GRU, aka the KGB. You know, so he's just not just some crazy vodka drinking, you know, fool that they've had in the past, like Yeltsin or Gorbachev or Brezhnev or Khrushchev and on. You know, well, Stalin was a murderer, though. They all were, but Putin he's the kind of guy, he's opportunist. You give him a chance, and he'll, you know, give him an inch, he'll take a mile. So, I don't like the idea of them annexing Crimea at all. I don't like them fucking with Ukraine at all. I think we should accept all those countries that border Russia that want to. I think we should accept them into NATO tomorrow. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about putting a military build up at Russia's border. Well, not really, not too much of one. No, I'm kidding. But I mean, that I don't trust Putin. And I mean, you know, but the problem is a lot of people will, because people are stupid enough to buy into Trump's bullshit. And he's a fucking moron. Okay? Putin can at least sound like he knows what he's fucking talking about. You can tell he's still full of shit, though, because the way he you know, I mean, and he could use that as a language barrier, that as an excuse, but the way he hems and haws, and if you give me a minute, I'll explain it, you know, with his attitude and everything like that, you can tell he's a fucking dickhead too. And so even if this guy was really cool, like in his policies, which he's not, he's a murderer, why would you want some fucking dickhead in there? Okay, I mean, people, I don't know what it is in America. I know that about 40% of the people like an authoritarian, almost like that. That's why they like Trump, you know, but a stupider one. But they've liked others. They've liked Reagan, you know, and he was more charming. I didn't think so, but, you know, that's, I guess, whatever. The Bushes, Nixon, now that one was before my time, but that boggles my mind. So Putin, you know, I have to try to understand that coming from a country that claims to be capitalism like Russia, but is still under authoritarian Soviet kind of type control, that people are scared. And, you know, so obviously he got like 80% of the vote, which means probably really only, you know, a lot less than that really, if even their hearts like him. Or maybe they do. Maybe they're brainwashed by that nationalism. I mean, it's been ingrained in them for, that white nationalism has been ingrained in them longer than it has been into the South, as far as the Confederate flag goes and that kind of shit. So, yeah, man, I don't know. But, you know, the thing is that was real telling was that they're not going to have another summit here coming up around the time of the elections. And even the Republicans were like, no, we don't need him over here during that. And who knows, Putin might have been afraid of getting a warrant served to him by Miller or something by that time. But anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to, you know, touch on that. But, oh, one thing real quick too that I'd heard about on the news tonight, and I've seen a little bit about him. Somebody asked me about him on Facebook, and I checked him out for a second, and it's really, they're not even worth mentioning, but there's this group called QAnon. They're like a fucking right-wing nut group that, you know, puts out more propaganda, you know, like more Pizzagate type shit. I don't know. You know, you'll have to look them up. They're not even really worth looking up, but it's another one of these groups out there, and you got to be aware of them because they can catch steam like this and say this kind of shit and get people hurt and get people fucked up, and you know, they're just part of the white nationalist echo machine. But speaking of the white echo nationalist machine, Meghan McCain, God, I can't believe I'm talking about her again. I'm talking about her again for the second time. But my partner here at the network, Kenny, did a show on her today, which I did one the other day, and now she's, there's this big, every year they play this War on Christmas. It starts early and earlier and earlier though. And it's, and really, well, I'd really love to have a war like that declared on me, because every year Christmas gets richer off it. Okay, so let's play a little bit of that, and then we get out of here. Let's play a little bit of that. Let's play a little bit of this going on here. Here we go to start with.
2016 at a rally in Tampa, Florida, where he returned to some of the themes that fired up his base on the campaign trail. Take a look.
It's awfully early to be thinking this, but I always think it. Remember the attack on Merry Christmas? They're not attacking it anymore.
No, nobody's thinking about it
Merry Christmas,
or remembering it.
And that's only because of our campaign.
Only, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
So he's perhaps hoping that this kind of talk will work on folks still. I mean, it's July. Why are we talking about Merry Christmas? I guess I don't get it.
He got it in on the last July.
One of his hits. He's like doing oldies but goodies.
The War on Christmas, I worked at Fox for years, and the War on Christmas is a real siren song to people on the right. And if you don't know what that means, it means that there's sort of an assault on saying Merry Christmas and sort of.
Here she comes. Here she comes. It's her 20th nervous breakdown. Meghan McCain, of course. Gee, what do you think her thoughts are going to be on the whole thing? And her open, well, not just her thoughts, but her open-mindedness to the whole concept of everything.
Christian beliefs in the country. I've never once said Merry Christmas to anyone anywhere and been told that I offended them. So I always thought it was a little ridiculous. But it is something that people on the right in some areas of the country really, really think is a big thing. They don't want Christmas to go away. I don't mind. And it's a siren. It's sort of a playing to the big siren.
To go away, but you can bet the corporations won't let that happen.
The war on immigrants,
the war on our democracy. They're just concerned about, you say Happy Holidays and they go ballistic. But everything else is falling apart. It's a signifier of it's the culture wars, though. This is what we've been talking about all year on this show. It's a signifier of the country. I think.
But is it real? When is the War on Christmas? I don't know. I celebrate Christmas every year. Can I point something out? And maybe folks have forgotten. But one of the great things about this democracy is you can have your belief system be whatever you want.
Yeah, that's right. Whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or all of them or whatever, exactly what the good point coming up here.
So if I meet somebody, I say happy holidays because I don't know if they're Christians. I don't know if they're Jews. I don't know if they're Zoroastrians. I don't know. But I want to say something sweet, so I say happy holidays. It is not a...
They write it or they put it in front of a building.
But it is the same... It is the same issue because you have millions of people coming in and out of your thing. You don't know their religions. You have no idea. So people try to be, but even tolerant and say happy holidays so whatever you believe, they feel they've covered.
That's a more inclusive way. But also equating the holidays. This is the siren song, though, is that if you say Merry Christmas, you're not inclusive. You're not tolerant. And that, again, this is already riling this up even here because I say Merry Christmas. I don't think I'm an intolerant person. I like saying Merry Christmas.
Oh boy. Yeah, she definitely doesn't think she's an intolerant person. Look, here's the deal, okay? What the fuck ever. I mean, you know what I mean? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays is a little higher consciousness way of looking at saying it because you're including the other celebrations around that time that are just as important to people as Kwanzaa and Hanukkah or people that don't really celebrate at all, which is becoming more and more people. People are becoming more conscious to the concept of the fact that, okay, look, the joke of Christmas is we love everybody on that day, right? And we'll help everybody out there, donate a free meal on that day. or Thanksgiving, but what we should have that attitude towards our fellow man like every fucking day, like every day. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not saying get rid of these holidays. People can still celebrate them, but I think less and less people will. Less and less people, as like decades and generations go on, will give less and less of a fuck about them. And I don't mean it that that's a bad thing. It's just that it's not some obligation one time a year thing that you have to do this and it's forced on you. You know what I mean? Like a religion would be, or like the national anthem. But you know, I don't know. You know, the way I look at it is just what the war on Christmas. Like I said, I'd like to have that kind of war declared on me. I like how she said they're afraid. Some of these rednecks are afraid that Christmas is going to end. Fuck, believe me, people. Until the day that fucking the last corporation crumbles into the motherfucking sea here in the United States, there will be some form of a fucking whatever, you know, electric tree Christmas you want to have. So don't, you know, worry. But with that being said, I appreciate everybody letting me do that quick rant. I'm out. Peace.